Chris at the Aviva Stadium with Matt Dawson and Jamie Heaslip.
Perfect timing, Dale. We're underway as James Lowe clears for Ireland. The sun is shining on Dublin. The perfect setting for what could be a perfect weekend for Irish rugby. But surely England aren't here just to make up the numbers. What kind of reaction does Steve Borthwick's men have? Lowe takes the kick from Stewart, calls the mark, bangs it downfield. Ball in play early on. Owen Farrell back in the England starting 15, the captain, just outside his own 22. Hoists it towards this lovely blue Dublin sky. Forward comes Jamison Gibson-Park, who's melted in the tackle by a couple of Englishmen. Where will England's physicality be? Where will Ireland's emotional energy be as Tadhg Furlong takes it under pressure from Genge and Ludlam? Ireland have advantage as Sexton finds Bundy Aki, and the penalty will go to Ireland inside their own half. We've got two men who know what it's all about to have a Grand Slam on the line. 03 winner Matt Dawson, but the first word to 09 winner Jamie Heaslip. 80 minutes away from destiny, Jamie.
Well, lads, Ireland have done really well in the Oscars this week. They've done well in Cheltenham, and even in the Leinster School Cup final, the Green Machine Gonzaga won. So I think the story is well placed for an Ireland win, but England are here to upset that story.
You're very excited there, Jamie, and quite right.
I'm giddy.
Quite rightly so. A blistering start to the game, but England have got to be careful. They are firing in, Chris, but swinging arms get targeting Johnny Sexton early on and Gibson-Park. England have got to be careful, but on the edge.
Controlled aggression is the order of the day. Let's go to full-time. Lee Blakeman at Molineux.
Wolves 2, Leeds 4. Harrison, Ayling and Christensen put Leeds 3-0 up. Johnny got one back from 40 yards out. Cunha got another back for Wolves. Johnny was then sent off for a dangerous tackle. Rodrigo wrapped it up for Leeds, and substitute Mateus Nunez was on the bench. He was sent off for protesting that final goal. Officials booed off. Wolves 2, Leeds 4.
Thanks, Lee. What an atmosphere it is here in the Aviva. What an atmosphere it is in the city of Dublin as Ireland almost work some room down the edge through Matt Hansen, one of their players of the championship. But we could say that about so many of these men in green. They've got the early territory. Van der Fleer, the world player of the year. Johnny Sexton's pass is loose to Porter in centre field, in between the 22 and the 10-metre line, in English territory. Sexton, good tackling from Genge, as England show good line speed, and they get a turnover. That's Jack Willis. That's what he can do. Didn't see it against France, but England already making some impact at the breakdown. And Farrell's kick is a handy one. Back goes Keenan. Hansen's running it out. Slade with the chop tackle. Atoje with the counter ruck. All over Gibson-Park, but he's impeded the 9, Matt Dawson. Just not quite staying on the right side of the ref.
Yeah, and there's those little edges. Brilliant defensive set from England. Super quick in line speed. Very disciplined turnover from Willis. Great kick from Owen Farrell to turn, get the ball on the grass to turn Ireland, but then you just think you've got to pin Ireland down, make them work to get out of their 30-metre area, and Atoje gives away a cheap penalty.
I tell you, it was a lovely nudge there off the left foot by Farrell, but Atoje's got to know he goes for the first compete, he doesn't win it, he can't touch the ball there, he can't go after the scrum half, you can't give easy exit points like that to Ireland.
All the full times coming in across our featured games. One of them is in Scotland, Celtic at Birmingham. Connie McLaughlin.
Yeah, finished Celtic 3, Hibs 1. A game of 2 penalties, one for either side. Josh Campbell for Hibs in the first half, cancelled out by Jota in the second, but a late diving header by O and a long range strike from Sid Haksabanovic gave Celtic all 3 points and restored their 9-point lead at the top of the table. Celtic 3, Hibs 1.
Nice one, Connie. Ireland lost their line out and Van Portfleet kicks into the Dublin sunshine. Hansen underneath it in his grey scrum cap. Tackle coming in by Lewis Ludlam. We'll go through the teams when we get a moment, but a breathless start. And England have got another turnover. So much better already than what they showed against France. And Van Portfleet finds Farrell, 10-metre line. There's Manu Tuolangi. Good carry from Tuolangi. Never lost against Ireland in 6 meetings. Farrell out to Stewart, who's chopped down by Ryan Baird. Big game this for the young Leinsterman. Ellis Genge goes inside. England just working a few phases. 0-0. 5 minutes gone on 5 Live and Beef Sounds. Sinclair, Farrell, Slade with a good carry almost up to the 22. Miles better from England. Watson down the left touchline. Into the 22 now, Steve Borthwick's side. Maro Atoje with a head of steam. Good collision there with Porter. Quick ball for England. Jack Willis of Toulouse. He's busting the gain line too. Have England got a cutting edge? Have they got composure? Farrell, out it goes to Stewart. He's got no one to his right, so he has to carry the big man from Leicester. Listen to the noise round the Aviva. I've never heard the Aviva like this. As Van Poortvliet finds ribbons, nice ball to Farrell. Have Ireland got this covered though? Slade trying to get round Bundy Aki. There goes Henry Slade. Good tackle Aki. Maybe a tiny bit on the high side, but okay, says referee Piper. Inside from Farrell to Atojo. How many phases? This 12 phases for England, Matt Dawson, as they try and get the game's first points.
Yeah, 12 phases going through, but at pace, this is going to really... Here we go, and deserved as well. Deserved. England have put Ireland under pressure.
Penalty advantage. Stewart, he might be going through here, Freddie Stewart. He tried to get an audacious offload away to the lurking Arundel, but Ireland weren't rolling. Penalty England, bang in front. Easy 3 points for Farrell.
I'm out of breath. And it's only 6 minutes gone. England are really good here at testing the Ireland defence. They're hitting up, between the 15-metre line and the inside post, condensing that Ireland line, and then having the skills to get to the edge and test the edge defence, where Ireland have been, suspect at times, particularly with Bundy there, who doesn't have a lot of game time underneath his belt, stretching them defensively and getting some good return.
Yeah, using their brains, England, at the moment. As to where they should attack, it doesn't feel like they're just sort of going through their sets and reps. It's heads up. There's a few little short sides. Arundel there, we're expecting him to be jinking and diving around the edges, using his speed. On that occasion, it was his turnover that gave England the territory, gave England the possession. Great input from the youngster.
You can already see the effect Manu has on the game in terms of go forward in the middle of the field when he carries, but also the respect that you have to pay him defensively, and that might cause Ireland problems. They might narrow up a little bit.
Well, this time last week England were already 10 points down against France and staring down the barrel. Now Farrell, he can't miss this. Absolutely slap bang in front, 20 metres out, maybe 1 or 2 metres fewer. If we're quibbling, it's ever so slightly to the left, but it's pretty much bang in the middle as the Irish crowd goes respectfully quiet. Farrell does the job and puts England into the lead. And all week, Matt Dawson, on all the rugby union dailies, we were saying England can ill afford a slow start to get this crowd into it, but they've done the opposite and started well.
Well, it was never going to be a slow start from England. There was going to be plenty of energy, but they've connected all of that desire, all that pain and hurt from last week into a very well scripted, strategic first 8 minutes of this game. But listen, very early on, Ireland have defended extremely well and have yet to have their opportunity, but a great start for England.
Alex Dombrandt with the claim from the restart. This was an area, like all the areas really of England's game, that went to pot against the French, getting out of their 22. Van Poortvliet is set for a box kick, really more of a clearance kick, and he gets good yardage on it, does the young Leicester number 9. Taken in by Hugo Keenan, one of the outstanding fullbacks in world rugby. Good quick ruck ball for Ireland, who just want to get into their familiar shape. Dan Sheehan, who's fit after a shoulder complaint. As the songs all around us, we can hear them here in the Aviva. The Irish fans, understandably, an amazing voice on St Patrick's Day weekend. Stewart claims Gibson Park's kick and kicks towards Keenan, who replies in his yellow boot. Back there is Jack Van Poortvliet, the scrum half, on his 12th appearance for his country. Fields of Athenry ringing all around us, low with his big left boot, looking for grass but not finding it, because Stewart is very adept in the backfield as the kicking battle continues. Who's going to blink first here, Matt Dawson?
And there are some good kicks as well, really well positioned in the backfield from both teams, but here's the opportunity for Arundel, possibly.
Oh, Arundel, is he going to go? He went to kick and he is going to half go. You heard the roar because he was caught. Penalty, and there you go. That's test match rugby, isn't it? Arundel just had that flicker of hesitation. Neither kicked, neither rang with conviction. Penalty Ireland. Sexton can level the scores here, Jamie.
Yeah, he's eyeing it up. He's an aggressive 10. He likes to sometimes kick the corner, back to set piece. Looks like he is going to go to the corner, I think. He's humming and hawing. He's asking James Ryan what line out they might have if they go there. He's squaring it up. But the thing about Ireland is that you can't make mistakes. They're so good at the ruck. They will time it well when you're isolated like they were there. England were there, and they will turn over that ball. England just got to box a little bit smarter when it comes to playing around the middle of the field, because you don't want to give these entry points to Ireland now with this line out.
Yeah, brilliant position. I think probably Johnny Sexton would have fancied a tiny bit more meterage getting into the 22, but this is where Ireland are so supreme across this tournament. Beautiful set piece, lovely training ground moves, lines of running, handling. England have got to be right on their guard here.
England lead 3-0, but Ireland have the field position on the 22 after Arundel was caught and holding on. Johnny Sexton, Bundy Aki in centre field, good carry by the Connacht man. Gibson Park finds provincial mate Shin. So many Leinster players across this green machine. Here's another one of them, Robbie Henshaw, the British Lion. There from Gibson Park, inside to Van der Fleer from Sexton's ball. There went Josh Van der Fleer, the World Player of the Year. Here's Tyg Furl on Sexton, good hands. Keenan, James Lowe straightening. Arundel did really well to get in the passing lane, and Henry Arundel may have saved the day. No, it's a penalty as England crawl. Arundel was okay with his intervention. England then crawled on the floor. Penalty Ireland 5 metres out. Sexton's gone quickly up to the line. Sexton, has he got it down, or is he held up? Big one now for the officials.
No, I don't think it's too big a call, that. Held up. Jacko Piper, the referee, in perfect position. Held up over, but I don't think England were back 10.
Just a penalty, never back. Okay, hang on.
That's a little bit harsh, I've got to be honest. It felt to me that England players were on the line, ready to defend, held up. Therefore, a goal line dropout. Ellis Genge got taken apart at that ruck. That move with Josh van der Fleer there coming through. Gens has been bamboozled, tackled the wrong man. England lucky to survive.
We need to see those players where they come from.
Jacko Piper speaking to Marius Jonker here, Jamie. What's the after?
I'm putting the angles on for Yaku.
I think he's just having a look to see if the English players are onside on the line when Johnny takes the tap.
We're seeing a replay now.
Yaku, here it comes now.
Well, it's Farrell.
Okay, put him onside. Do we agree?
He's onside. Itoje puts him onside.
Ten's going backwards. Itoje's coming forward. He's putting him onside now.
Yeah.
And we have a goal line dropout. All agree?
That is smart play by Farrell to let him run while Itoje gets them all onside. Well, we'll say it's smart play. It could be blind luck, but you take it.
We've got the
I think there's thinking under pressure there from Farrell. He knows that if not only does he possibly give a penalty away, could have been a yellow card if he'd tackled him early.
And what's really interesting, traditionally Ireland have come up with a couple of they treat that 5 metre penalty like a set play, have trick plays, maybe a rush of blood to Johnny's head in his last international competitive international at home, but a let off there for England.
Emotion getting the better of him?
What are you talking about? I thought it was a great option. I would have done that all day long.
Of course you would.
Well, really interesting call. So Sexton went quickly, and as the guys were so well explaining, Farrell was played onside by Itoje. Did really well, Itoje. Ireland lose it. So after all that Irish pressure, no points, goal line dropout. Now it's England with the ball. George finds Genge out to Slade with this cultured left boot. He's on for 50-22 here, you know. This is going to bounce or not quite. A greasier turf. It was raining earlier, but it's beautifully dry now. Hansen slices it anyway, so it's a huge territorial gain for England. And Matt Dawson, it's exactly the start England needed.
Yeah, and just interesting that the turnover from those inside balls that Ireland are trying to play. Josh Van der Fleer went through previously. They've obviously targeted England as a weakness, and England seem to have adapted, but that's where Ireland want to attack.
England line out 22 in Irish territory. Van Portpley plays it, fly half, Slade to Tuolangi. Slightly isolated Tuolangi, as you heard from Jamie Heaslip, but England do well. They've got an advantage, England. A chance to double their lead. George Nicehands, beautiful from Farrell. Low intercept, I tell you what. That could have been interesting if Henry Arundel had got on that ball. Back for the penalty. Now, if you're England, Matt Dawson, and you are in Dublin and you're 3-0 up, you kick for the corner and say, come on, let's play with real aggression.
Absolutely not. 3 points, regroup, get on with it. You can't afford to be getting carried away in 13 minutes. You know, but how many times are we talking about or looked at stats about going into the opposition 22 and coming away with points? This is an opportunity. He's got to take it.
Against a side like Ireland, who are defensively astute, quite scabby when it comes to letting up tries and points, I think you take your 3 when you get it. Really interesting, middle of the field, Ireland trying to do a set piece play that they've done a couple of times where they hit the prop, 9 loops around and we dummy passes and trying to hit that inside channel. England have done their homework there, which is great to see. They stayed in the pocket, didn't move and got the turnover. And then, it's just pressure on pressure that England are doing here. Smart play. And then also they are targeting that edge. They are fishing out James Lowe, making him bite in and make a decision there, looping around and really stretching him on the edge.
Compelling first 14 minutes here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Ireland 0, England 3. As a plane goes overhead, the Aviva.
Will do anything to distract Owen Farrell when he's taking a penalty.
Farrell, though, probably won't be perturbed. He's played in this great stadium of rugby many times. He's had bad defeats, he's had great wins as well. And he has this to put England 6-0 up. There was such an air of confidence around Dublin for good reason these last 48 hours. But England have made the better start, and they lead by 6. Ireland 0, England 6.
Yeah, and as boring as it may sound, the messages have got to get on. They've got to be front of mind for England. This is exactly how to be playing. You get any kind of slow ball near the opposition, get 3 points, penalty, drop goal, all of a sudden it's 9 points. The opposition has to play in a different way. England have to continue to question, because this world-class side of Ireland are going to come back.
The kickoff goes towards Itoje. He's having a big game, Itoje. He takes that, but then the ball goes loose to Ireland and Baird, and now the Irish attack through Shin. What a dummy from the hooker, almost up to the 22. Gibson Park to Sexton, who's stationary. Cries from the crowd as Keenan goes through. Hugo Keenan, an amazing run. Jamie Heasley's off his feet as Ireland have numbers to the right. Tyke Furlong couldn't link. And now Gibson Park comes to Van der Fleer. Van der Fleer 5 metres out. Ireland looking for their first points, looking for this Grand Slam. It'll be the 4th in their history if they can do it. Here's Ringrose, no look pass to Aki, who's only 7 metres out, Bundy Aki. Gibson Park, Sexton goes inside to a spinning Doris. Release! 5 metres out the Irish, slap bang in centre field. Furlong's pass is loose, and England are all over Henshaw. Tuolangi was the man rushing up. As Ireland go back to 22, nice wide ball though to Lowe. Lowe's pass is almost intercepted by Van Poortvliet. And have England got that back? Yes, they have. Good scrambling work by England. Ireland, another line break, Jamie Heaslip, for nothing so far.
I mean, they reloaded the back line, got the width, but Tyke Furlong just couldn't ship that pass to get the numbers. Great work off the ball, it's got to be said, by England defensively. They are measuring up their numbers really well, not overfolding and backing that defensive system.
England clear their lines towards Hansen. Tell you what, next score is going to be very, very, very interesting. England get another one, and I just wonder if all the excitement, enthusiasm, expectation around this place as Ireland, though they don't knock on, backwards, says referee Piper. Therefore, Gibson Park, he throws a dummy, but has a couple of English players in his grill. England desperately looking to turn it over, but Piper said England were off their feet, and they have a penalty to Ireland. Waiting for the advantage, not coming, penalty Ireland, slap bang in centre field. Now Jamie, do you go for the corner or do you try and get something on the board?
No, shot.
It's within the range for Sexton to take it. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the corner. If it was me, I'd take the shot at goal. What's annoying there is actually from an English perspective there, they've forced a couple of errors with their defensive pressure on Ireland. They don't need to give that sloppy penalty away. He comes off his feet, it's a bit messy.
But there's three really sloppy penalties, Jamie, and they are going to bite you on the rear. I guarantee you're going to look back at some stage in this game and think you just didn't need to give those penalties away. And what frustrates me, and I'm now watching Ellis Gens go up to Carl Sinclair, who gave the penalty away, and just gives him a little cuddle. I want to be like, you want a bit of anger in here. No penalties. Give me the discipline. It's the only way we're going to let Ireland in, and of course they've got more than just penalties, but there's a frustration.
From an Irish perspective, just outside of the game, it'll be a great moment for Johnny Sexton here to slot us over and become the all-time highest point scorer, an accolade that I think people are going to be pushed hard to chase down after this.
Well, maybe that's why he was going for that little tap. He wanted to do it in style with a try, but it looks like it's going to be a penalty. Sexton to, as Jamie Heaslip saying, break the record of Ronan O'Gara as the highest point scorer in Six Nations history. Listen to the Aviva Stadium. A couple of row cries, but otherwise definitely quiet. Sexton with the strike. He likes it. The crowd like it. You can hear the roars behind us. Sexton's into the record books, and Ireland are up and running. Ireland 3, England 6.
Yeah, cracking start to the game. I think that's a fair reflection on where the game has gone. Congratulations to Johnny Sexton for sure. England need to get themselves back into that mentality they've had in the first 15.
Yeah, a load of Irish fans around us, including Jamie Heaslip, on their feet to acclaim arguably one of the greatest in Irish rugby history, if not the greatest. 560 points and counting for Johnny Sexton as Ireland prepare to clear their lines through Gibson Park. Earlier in the Premier League, remember, Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 1, Leicester 1, Wolves 2, Leeds 4, and as we're hearing from the incomparable Ian Dennis, Southampton 3, Tottenham 3, Stewart under the high ball. He takes it and tries to get away from James Lowe. Just inside his own half, he sets it up, and England will just slow it down. The lead is 3, halfway through the first half. A quarter of the game has flown by on 5 Live as England have lost it. And Baird, who is so quick, Ryan Baird, look at that footwork for a second row. He's spinning as well, and he sets it up 15 metres or so in from the far touchline. A hint of offside in the midfield, think the crowd, but referee is happy as Aki comes on a short ball. Ludlam with the tackle and a snappy roll away from the Northampton man. James Ryan with the tip on to Furlong. Johnny Sexton, that's gone loose, and Farrell's hacked it clear. England don't quite have the chasers there. Itoje looks spent. England have emptied the tank, but they've got 60 more minutes, and Keenan has completely shanked it. And England, who look a little bit spent, have got a line out in a great position.
I thought for a minute we'd just wound the clock back 25 years, and I was watching Ireland hack it down the bit. That's like how I used to play, watching England just smash it down there.
Well, you know what? Such is the toll. 20 minutes gone, and you see Itoje. He couldn't take off after that ball. Such is the amount of energy they've had to expend so far in this game. The physicality of this game. It's a welcome break. But again, Genge, known for his ball carrying, and says that's a strength of his game. He got ripped off like a candy from a baby there.
He needs to step up. I tell you, he's missed a couple of tackles. He's been out of position twice. He's had the ball stolen from him. You're absolutely right. He is meant to be one of England's talisman.
This is not club footy, lads. This is international footy. Everyone's good. If you're not tight with your systems, your process, people will rip it off you and take it like that all day long.
England with the line out. George to Van Portfleet. Slade to Alangi on a short ball. Good bust to Alangi. England are slapping centre field here. The ball is slowed up. Van Portfleet wanted a penalty. Genge is static, but a nice tip on to Sinclair. England only 5 metres out. Can they execute? Genge again runs into Itoje, but the referee is happy. England now come to the left. Big carry, Freddie Stewart. Try score last week. But look at that defence and listen to the crowd all around us. As Ireland rock back Freddie Stewart. Use it, shouts the referee. Sinclair with a carry. 10 metres out or so. Tuolangi's out here, but he's by himself. Slade's having a decent game. By far his most involved this championship. Van Portfleet has a couple of runners. The ball's loose to Anthony Watson. Watson tackled by Lowe. This is the counter up from Ireland. Have England held firm? Yes, they have. Just about managing to recycle the English. Genge with a bust. Quick ball for Van Portfleet. What's Slade got? Throws a dummy again, Henry Slade. Van Portfleet, only a couple of Englishmen out there. Jack Willis carries. To within 15 or so. Yes, Ireland go in trying to steal. That might be a turnover. No, it's still there for England. Genge posts the ball to Farrell. Watson, good step footwork from the British and Irish line. Stewart has got Lewis. Ludlam, good hands. Ludlam inside Tuolangi, and then Ireland bundled Tuolangi out. It is all happening. Everyone's on their feet. Ireland 3, England 6. Ireland with the line out 5 metres out.
This is tremendous stuff. Great. Just a brilliant match to watch, to comment, to see all the little battles that are going on. Every time England make a couple of yards, Ireland come up with a fabulous set of D. But I can't help thinking this is taking more out of England than it is out of Ireland.
I mean, I back Ireland's fitness all day long. So, an easy penalty given there by England. You can't do that with Ireland. You put the pressure on, you force them down into their 22. It's very hard to get into the Irish 22, and then you give an easy penalty away at the line out. These are things that you will compound and come back to you. Itoje going up for the ball, and then coming across and getting his hands on Peter O'Mahony in the air. You can't do that.
Exactly what we spoke about when we were in the Aviva around the time of the Andy Farrell press conference, Matt, on Thursday. Discipline, aggression, but keeping it controlled as well.
6-2 and penalties.
6 penalties. You're not going to win in Ireland doing that.
And as Jamie said there, probably 4 of them were proper soft. Proper soft. No need to do. And of course, there's emotion. Of course, you think that you are superhuman and that you can make it. But at this level of intensity, it's those types of decisions that are going to be the difference. And at the moment, you're seeing that even under extreme pressure, the decision making from Ireland is just outwitting England.
Ireland line out. Sheehan just about finds O'Mahony, who had to leap and get it with one hand. And now Doris, one of the players in the championship. How good has this number 8 been? Ireland, though, slowing it down. Jamison Gibson Park just using his foot to dribble the ball back in the ruck, and he clears. A tester for Watson, who's good under the high ball, takes it well, and he's off Anthony Watson, breaking a couple of tackles. Van Portfleet goes back to Farrell, who'll play a bit of territory. Gibson Park is scampering around in the backfield, the scrum half's got Keenan with him. 6-3 to England, 15 minutes left of a breathless first half. Forward comes Stewart. He doesn't quite claim it. That was knocked on by Ireland, though, so England will have an advantage that will be quick to go, because it was only a knock-on. Farrell's kick is gathered by Hansen. Hansen steps away from a couple of on-rushing Englishmen, and he's off McHanton. He's still going. Listen to the roar from the Aviva, willing on the right winger. O'Mahony now with a carry straight into Jamie George. They toured on Lions tours together, but adversaries today as Van der Fleer sets it up. Gibson Park, Sexton, Henshaw tries to skin Tuolangi, and he almost did. Despairing tackle coming in by Arundel. Sexton, Sheehan. Over halfway now, Ireland, getting into their shape. Sexton, little ball out the back, low, nice hands. O'Mahony had Van der Fleer on his shoulder. Farrell is there trying to steal, but there for Ireland. Lowe will play a little bit of territory. That's sensible from the winger. But Stewart, as ever, in the backfield. Penalty, though, for Ireland. 8 white, another penalty. Late tackle by Alex Dombrandt. And that's another penalty that Ireland have given away. A word on that from Matt Dawson in a moment. But the championship full times are all in. Blackpool 1, Coventry City 4, Middlesbrough 4, Preston 0, Millwall 0, Huddersfield 1, QPR 0, Birmingham 1, Reading 1, Hull 1, Stoke 0, Norwich 0, Sunderland 1, Luton 1, Watford 1, Wigan 1.
No, if we see the 8 contact, we'll deal with it.
As Andy Farrell, Owen Farrell, not Andy Farrell. Owen Farrell speaks to Jakob Piper.
Yeah, just trying to question where the late tackle was, but as we all saw on the big screen there, Alex Dombrandt, they've obviously, England have obviously targeted Sexton and trying to get physical with him, but you know, unfortunately, if Sexton gets rid of the ball either with his hands or his boot, you have got to steer clear of him, because he's wrapped in cotton wool quite rightly because of his reputation, and Dombrandt he's just kidding himself if he's going to get away with that.
I'm just wondering if it's, you know, the English players are starting to get a little bit slow. Sinclair Gaines, they're slow off the ground defensively. They're taking that extra second to get back in the line. I wonder if that's like, you know, Dombrandt, is he tired? You know, because when you're tired, you're not thinking, you start making those silly errors. Like, that's an easy penalty. He's just giving the guys, they're defensively really well set around the middle of the field. And now he's let Ireland kick inside to the 22.
Yeah, and that kick to the 22, or just inside, met with a roar from this capacity doubling crowd. England hemorrhaging penalties, aren't they? Those margins so fine at this rarefied level of the game. Sheehan prepares to throw towards Ryan, who takes it, and Ireland set up a maul that looks to be well set. Heave is the cry from the Aviva Stadium faithful. Ireland 3, England 6. England with the slender scoreboard lead, but Ireland are pressing and asking questions. Gibson Park finds Hansen. Big tackle coming in. Jack Willis leading from the front with the defence. Tyke Furlong takes it and steps inside. Into the 22 go the Irish. Van der Fleer in his trademark red scrum cap. As Ireland bust the gain line, Gibson Park out to Baird, tackled by George. They're working the short side now, the Irish. Sexton, Hansen over to the far side, and a spinning Caelan Doris. Another big turnover coming in. No, it's been knocked on by England. Willis is making mischief, as he always does, but it will be a scrum advantage to the Irish. Again, there's that Aviva roar. as Sexton finds Henshaw, swung out to Keenan, but there was a huge gap between Keenan and Lowe. The pitch is looking huge from up here, isn't it, guys? A lot of tired bodies already, knocked on by Baird. England scrum, they survive, England, Matt Dawson.
Another tremendous defensive set, both sides defensively. This is top level, top level rugby. Incredible bounce back from last week for England. The intent, the organisation, the desire, the passion, the hurt that has come from last week. You know, they are throwing the kitchen sink as we hoped they would. But
can they keep it up, Doss?
I mean, there's the question, and there's the question. You got to get return, haven't you? And 6 points, great, but you got to. If you're playing away from home, you're playing against the best team in the world. This is all great, but you've got to have more return on the scoreboard.
What's really interesting here, obviously you can't see it at home. Ireland team straight away into a huddle, taking their breath, communicating, getting really calm and focused. Johnny leading the charge there. The England side are not together. They're kind of standing as individuals. The pack are kind of around each other. But, you know, that says a lot to me in terms of, you know, the cohesiveness of both groups right now. You know, at this time, you should be pulling them in together, going, lads, you know, OK, we're making some silly errors, silly penalties. Let's cut them out. Talk about that. But take the positive as well. What's working? But instead, no comms, no nothing.
Yeah, that little moment, the break-in play we've got now, you go to your priority. Ireland's priority was get around strategically what comes next for us. England's priority was, can we have some water? Please.
Well, they had a water break, which I thought was being sort of phased out of the game, but I wonder if, I think Jaco Piper's explanation was there hasn't been a try yet. It's been 27 minutes of non-stop action, and both forward packs especially gulping for water. So a little bit of a stoppage, and now we restart with a scrum. First scrum of the game, surely not, Jamie?
You're testing me there now, Chris. I can't remember. I think it actually is. I think it is the first scrum of the game.
Well, we've not had many either way. Scrum recess, so a chance for us to go to Henry Moran. Chelsea Everton's our 5:30 in the Premier League.
Just underway here in West London. Chelsea 0, Everton 0. Chelsea in 11th, Everton in 17th. Everton nervously looking over their shoulders in what's happening in the relegation zone. Chelsea, they've won their last 4, starting to come together under Graham Potter. Underway here, Chelsea on the attack, and they see the ball ricochet in the air. The score remains Chelsea 0, Everton 0.
Cheers, Henry, as we wait for the scrum. Team news from the Etihad. It's an FA Cup quarter-final, Manchester City and Burnley. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Yes, Vincent Kompany back at the Etihad. He'll be saying thanks a lot. Pep, having had a look at the Manchester City team sheet, Erling Haaland starts after his 5-goal haul against Leipzig. He's yet to score in the FA Cup. Kompany's Burnley unbeaten in their last 18 games, running away with the championship. Let's see what they've got here tonight. Kicks off at 5:45.
Yeah, and it's live on BBC One as well. 5:45 kickoff, as Ali's saying. City Burnley at the Etihad. Big moment here. These little battles in these top test matches. Scrum, big wheel, big Irish shove, Jamie Heaslip, but Jaco Piper giving the penalty to England.
Yeah, you could see Sinclair was coming in on the angle, driving all that force, you know, from right to left across the field. Andrew Porter probably bid on that opportunity a little bit too much and came up on the left-hand side and just whipped around, and Tyke Furlong doing the same on his side. But Pepper putting it in Ireland's favour, putting it in England's favour, and England will take that.
It's pretty clear your side. Yeah. 53!
Yeah, quite brave refereeing, given that the crowd was roaring for an Irish penalty, and England have got their line out completely wrong there. Got to be super accurate here, England, against this excellent Irish side. They threw to the front, then the ball kind of
and away
evaded Jack Van Poortvliet, the scrum half, and so from a reasonably promising position, England now forced back into their own half. Don Brandt has a head down kind of carry, and Van Poortvliet will kick. He needs some chasers. Irish with a big counter ruck, but I think England have just about withstood that pressure. 6-3 to England. If you're just joining us, 30 minutes of race by in Dublin. Ireland 3, England 6. The Grand Slam party well and truly on hold for now, as Lowe gets up there to make the catch, but Jack Willis is all over him, making tackles and turning ball over today, the Toulouse flanker. High kick from Sexton. Who wants that one? Nobody in a white shirt, but Keenan in a green, and Ireland might have numbers to the right. No, they don't, so they come to the left through Henshaw. Tackled by Sinclair. Into the English half go Ireland. 9 minutes to the break on 5 Live and BBC Sound. Sexton with a dummy. Chopped down by Ludlam. Quick ball though for Gibson Park to James Lowe. Watson has to bite in. Willis is all over that. He may have turned it over, as he knows. It's a penalty. England have given another penalty away. Ellis Genge this time with an off-the-ball challenge. Must be 8 or 9 penalties England have conceded as Gibson Park finds Sexton. Gibson Park always dangerous, the number 9. He goes to the left. Well picked up Van Poortvliet. No advantage. Penalty to Ireland. England can't keep their discipline.
Another unnecessary penalty. Jack Willis doing so well over the breakdown to slow it all down.
Number 1
just
off the ball.
Time after time. This is going to ruin all the hard work and energy England are putting into this. It's so frustrating, so frustrating.
I mean, from an Irish perspective, deadly. But, you know, when you're looking at the purist of the game, you know, Genge, you know, it's like he's trying to force things in the game for himself. He's trying to get into the game. You know, I know all about hit on intent when you're defending in the line and it goes right up, because Johnny Sexton's very good at bringing the ball to the line, and you have to be confident if you make any mistake. But it was man on. Sexton wasn't his man, so you got to trust in your teammate to have him, and you can't just hit a fellow without the ball. Like, it's a very sloppy mistake by him. He's made a few of them, and you know, he's got to focus on tidying himself up a little bit here, because again, you can't keep giving Ireland these opportunities. Paul O'Connell has coached this line out really well, and they tend to get a return on it.
Jamie George doesn't look happy. We're just having a break here. Jamie, he's on that line out, that little cute. I mean, I thought you were generous to Carl Sinclair. That was a great little front ball to get the ball in play, and Carl Sinclair just sort of threw it nowhere near, had no one near him, just needed a little pop pass to Jacques Van Poortvliet and completely missed him and put Van Poortvliet under pressure. There's so many great things England are doing, and then they're just unravelling at key moments.
Ireland line out, 20 metres out. Van der Fleer inside to Sheehan. Dan Sheehan to the line. What a try from the Ireland hooker. It was that simple. Van der Fleer's ball inside, and no one was stopping Sheehan from there. And listen to the reaction around Dublin.
We talked about the lineup. You can't give them opportunity. Paul O'Connell has you know, coached these guys to an inch of their life and what they need to do around it. It was a great setup. You know, Lowe and Gibson Park go down the short side as they've done with the whole people. But Dan Sheehan, he might as well be a back row on the field if we're honest, guys. You know, Josh Van der Fleer gets the width, puts it back in there. No one comes with Dombrand, so there's a massive hole there. We could talk that's maybe about the tiredness from the English side. But when you give the space to someone like Dan Sheehan there, lads, you ain't stopping him.
Well, I can't help but think of another great Irish hooker called Keith Wood, who scored a try in 2001. I mean, directly opposite from where it was, pretty much the same move.
It's
amazing try, very well executed, slick. Everyone expecting Ireland to, you know, give that driving maul a bash, and beautifully well orchestrated hands for Sheehan. And it needed finishing, by the way.
Yeah, it's a proper 15-20 metre effort from Sheehan, who was carrying an injury into this after being one of the walking wounded after Murrayfield. But no sign of any niggle there. Storming to the line, getting Ireland's first try. Sexton looking for the extra 2. He's got it. As we edge towards half-time, Ireland have the lead for the first time this afternoon. 34 minutes gone, Ireland 10, England 6, Jamie Heaslip.
Again, we're just looking back on that replay. You know, Josh Van der Fleer does really well to pop out, pull Dombrand with him. Sinclair gets caught out maybe a bit too tight to the maul and space there. And Dan Sheehan, like you said, had some finishing to do. But that guy, you know, he sidestepped wingers for fun at times with Leinster. So it's no surprise that he finished that.
Yeah, how well has he developed at hooker? They've got some brilliant options, have the Irish in the number 2 jersey. Now, as Stewart comes up, I was about to throw a question to you, Matt Dawson. England do have it. But no, it's been knocked on as the errors just creep into England's play. They want to get to half-time, you'd imagine, to take a breather, but they can't let off now. It's only 35 minutes gone. There is so much rugby still to play. England have to somehow keep up their intensity while also keeping their discipline.
Yeah, an important conversation to be had there under the post, waiting for the conversion, because it's the reality is it's 10-6.
Now, let's have a look at 14 wide.
Just having a look at whether Anthony Watson has bumped James Lowe out of the way on the retreat.
No, Yaku, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll play the knock-on.
I mean, it wasn't a knock-on, to be fair.
Knock-on, just lost forward.
The ball actually didn't go forward, but he was lucky, maybe, not to give a penalty away.
When you're a team that's struggling like England, do you become slightly marked men in the eyes of the officials?
I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like, they're both physically, they're being really tested right now, and I can't help but think that's why these errors are starting to happen and compound. But also, when these errors start happening, Ireland haven't really had a whole lot of ball yet. They're 10-6 ahead now. The mental battle that these English players are going to have in their own head, kind of going like, we've just thrown the kitchen sink at these guys. It's 10-6 coming into half-time. That's the battle that's going to go on in their head now, and it doesn't help that you're absolutely gassed probably as well.
Half-time, 4.5 minutes away. All the reaction from an amazing day of football in the Premier League. Look at these scores, 3-all, 4-2, 3-0. Loads to talk about with Mark Chapman. And all the reaction from up and down the Football League at half-time. 6:06 to come. Football commentary on the way after us. Chelsea, Everton, or the option of going to the Etihad as well if Man City, Burnley turns into an FA Cup thriller. As England give a free kick away and Sexton sends it skyward. This is a tester, isn't it, for Stewart? What's he got? Great take, Freddie Stewart. That's the acid test for a fullback. Febrile atmosphere. Grand Slam chases all over you. But he's up to the task, the Leicester man. And England clear. Can they catch Keenan in possession? Maybe they can. But Ireland have done well to resource that ruck. Gibson Park loses it. Knock on. And England need to try and play here. Back to Farrell. Perhaps some space in the backfield, but they didn't kick. Tuolangi throws a dummy. There's perhaps an option there for England to put it into the 22. Van Poorfleet's in trouble. Turnover coming. Oh no, we're going to go back for the knock-on. Long advantage by Jaco Piper, England's scrum.
I'm just not having that. It's a ruck.
There was a green foot in
Therefore,
there,
you cannot go in. I don't care even if the ball's available. If they've called a ruck, a player can't then go in for a secondary shove to try and nick the ball. And that was decent ball for England to attack on. No, they come back and they've got a centre field scrum. Again, the stark contrast to how these two teams play quick turnover ball. If Ireland had nicked that turnover ball, everyone's on the edge of their seat thinking, oh my, they're going to pick the right way, they're going to communicate the right calls, and are going to find an overlap. England go the wrong way, they go and find themselves an underlap and nearly get turned over.
Centre field scrum, England.
Crouch!
Options left, Slade, Stewart, Arundel, who hasn't had much ball, has he, Arundel? One carry, all that the London Irish Flyers had. Will they give him a chance to have a go at Hansen? No, they can't. They do come to the left. Slade, he might kick through here for Arundel. No, he gives it to Stewart. Now here's Henry Arundel. Arundel trying to skin Hansen. Steps inside. He's strong, Arundel. And he goes into the 22. He's been held up. It's a maul. So he's going to lose that. It's going to be an Irish scrum here. And there it is, Ireland's scrum. What went wrong there for that England move, Matt Dawson?
Well, unfortunately, from the moment it was inaccurate. From the pass from Van Poorfleet to Slade made him check.
Thank you.
So Ireland had chance to get themselves back. I like the idea of giving it to Arundel, but that unfortunately that's just a little bit of naivety, a little bit of inexperience,
and lots of experience there from Ireland. The minute Arundel gets isolated, James Gibson Park turns his back to the England side. Josh van der Veer has his hips, elevates his hips, all his momentum is gone. He can't get to the ground, and once another player hits, it's a maul. It's game over.
Canny stuff from the Irish. Street wisdom from the men in green. And yeah, Arundel, you feel, has almost had a chance, but both times been a bit tentative getting to him.
He's just got to be focused on what he's good at. He's overplayed his hand on that occasion. He danced around too much. He just needs to hit the deck and recycle.
Ireland from inside their own 22. Aki bundles past Van Poorfleet. How long left? Into the final minute of the first half. Who's going to be happier? 10-6. Interesting scenario at half-time. England have had a lot of ball, but have just the 6 points. Ireland have had a couple of big incisions. They've got their 10 points, and it's a penalty to Ireland. England with another concession. 9th penalty in a half of rugby. That is as many as you want to concede in a full 80. And Jamie Heaslip, England are giving Ireland what they want, a chance to move into opposition territory.
You know, when you look at all the stats with Ireland, you know, defensively, like I've touched on, they don't let you into that 22 a whole lot. So you've got to take these opportunities. You've got to apply the pressure when you're inside their half. You can't give a silly penalty for offside. You know, Sinclair's, you know, at half time, Borthwick's got to get these messages through to the players, or else make some changes and get the guys off.
And Jako's had enough, and there's a couple of borderline decisions there where you think, was it? But he's like, look, I'm not having enough. You keep giving penalties away.
Ireland come off the top. They attack on the sponsor's logo. In centre field goes Aki. Willis is there, but Aki busts the gain line. Gibson Park, nice set move with the little loop. Sexton, lovely intricate rugby, but Hansen knocks it on. Keenan is then levelled. England can play. Time is up for the half, and I think because Keenan has got a head injury, he's been tended to by opposite number Stewart. That will be half time. Beautiful intricate play by Ireland. Hansen couldn't quite free his arms, but you think there might be something else coming here, Jamie Heaslip?
You know, there might not be a great replay coming in terms of a shoulder on head, but great intricate move from Ireland, creating the overlap. Hugh Keenan, ball spills on the ground, and then a collision. There's nothing in it now that I look at a replay.
So we got a knock on first.
That's a rug. There's nothing to that whatsoever. Freddie Stewart has actually bailed out of the scenario because it's a knock on. And you can watch that in slow-mo a million times and listen to the crowd, but that is a rugby incident.
Yes, we need to look at.
He has bailed out of that scenario.
Right, this is a huge moment in the game. Because the ball was loose, you do feel as if Stewart's just sort of, as you say, Matt, bailed out. But the crowd and the officials have seen shoulder or maybe direct even elbow to head.
Contact. We just need to determine whether that's
because
foul play.
He's reacted like that because it was a knock-on.
So Jako's asked the question. He needs to determine if there's foul play. They've established
if he's entering a contact into a ball carrier, he has to be.
No good watching slow-mos here. Is an absolute disaster. And he watch the slow-mo. He's going to get in trouble. Because there's no aim tackle and it's gone on his head, but that is not the rugby incident.
Contact to head. Yeah. Okay, so he's got clear line of sight, Marius.
This is going to be a red card.
He's upright into contact. He's turning his shoulder.
Nonsense.
Direct to the head.
It's a red card, guys.
Elbow on, direct to the head. Are we all clear? High level of danger.
Oh my.
There's no mitigation.
I agree with the facts.
No mitigation. Okay.
And I can confirm there are no other angles on this.
Thank you. Unfortunately,
they don't need an angle.
Let's listen to Piper and Farrell.
In fact, bracing for impacts. I can't go anywhere else. I understand. In the current climate, you're upright. You're into contact. All right.
It's milliseconds, so I can't.
You have time to turn your shoulder. Direct contact to head is high level of danger.
Bracing for impacts.
No mitigation.
Red card. Red card.
You can hear in Pepper's voice. Once it goes up to the camera, he's going through the protocol, right? By the protocol, unfortunately, he's going to get done.
It's about level of danger and there's no mitigation. Thank you. Please.
Red card to Freddie Stewart, and that is going to be debated long into the night. As Stewart said, he was bracing himself for impact. He would have felt if he stayed front on, he's going to get a head-on-head shot anyway.
In my opinion, it's a rugby incident. It happens. Once he goes up there and he goes through the protocol, it's not going to go good. And Stewart's having such a good game. He's one of the few English players, I think, that's having a real positive influence on the game. He's going to be sorely missed. There's no good out of that.
Well, Matt Dawson speechless. We'll get a word from Matt in a moment after this line out. As Sheehan throws to the tail. Nice drill, Ireland. And this is a huge moment in the context of the game. Red card, Freddie Stewart. England will play the whole second half with 14 as Ireland drive to within 5, edging closer to the line. Another try would burst England's balloon. Gibson Park, but Willis has done very well. to stop that drive from Ireland.
Ball's available.
Ball's available for Ireland. Second time in this fixture in 2 years. England have had a man sent off. Remember Charlie Yuleswaite last year within a couple of minutes. Van der Fleer, 10 metres out. Gibson Park comes left. Sexton, short ball to try score a Sheehan. Big leg carry from Sheehan. Now to the left to James Lowe. Lowe to within 5. Peter O'Mahony from Gibson Park's pass. Ireland taking their time. 10-6 they lead. Doris spins into a couple of English defenders. Itoje looking for the steal, but there for Ireland. Listen to the noise. Ryan Baird. Ireland drive. They've got numbers to the right. Furlong, 4 metres out or so, the tight head. He drives on. There for Gibson Park. To the right he goes to Ryan. Roared on by this capacity crowd in outstanding St Patrick's weekend voice. Baird knocks it on. England survive. That'll be half-time. 10-6 Ireland, but that doesn't even tell half the story. Ireland race off, England slope off. They've emptied the tank, have England. A massively improved showing from the English compared to last week. They went 6-0 up, but when Ireland have a chance, they were deadly. Dan Sheehan's try, Sexton with the other point, but the flashpoint, bang on half-time. A red card to Freddie Stewart, an incredibly controversial call from Jaco Peyper. The contact was direct from the elbow and shoulder to the head. By the checklist with the danger, it was a red, but whether there was a mitigating circumstance, Matt Dawson, around the fact he was bracing for contact, as Stewart did say to Jaco Peyper.
Yeah, unfortunately, the officials are just showing a lack of understanding of the game. I can't disagree with how the contact would therefore be a red, but the context of why it went to that contact, it just shows such a lack of understanding.
Because Ireland knocked on.
Ireland have knocked on. Everybody in the stadium, everyone on the pitch, just takes a step off, a step away, a millisecond, and because it all gets heightened, Freddie Stewart relaxes because he knows it's going to be a scrum. There's going to be a contact, and he's stepping and slowing and turning to say, yeah, no problem, I'm actually getting out of this contact area, and he's been punished by being sent off for doing exactly that. It's a mockery.
10-6 Ireland, Mark Chapman.
If he had smashed him, would he have been better off?
Yeah, if he'd gone in and made a proper tackle on him, maybe
by the rules.
Well, hold on a minute. No. Actually, no, that's wrong, because he didn't have the ball. He knocked it on. So if Freddie Stewart had gone in and taken him out without the ball, I would have been more inclined to say, oh, got to be careful there, mate. You know, maybe that's a yellow card. But the fact that he was doing his utmost best to avoid any type of contact there, and the fact that because Hansen had dropped the ball, he was then falling in disappointment to say, I don't believe I've just dropped that. And Freddie Stewart's getting out of the way. It's a farce. It's an utter farce.
And Jamie, what I find really odd in this is that Jaco Peyper says no mitigation. And you're sort of thinking, well, there are plenty of mitigating circumstances there. Matt's explained some of them. Stewart himself says, I think he said it was a millisecond, sir. It was a millisecond. And actually, as he is on the ground, already his arms are up, Freddie Stewart. Look, it looks, on the slow motion replay, which everybody has seen in the ground, it looks terrible. But at full speed, with all the circumstances, there are mitigating circumstances, aren't there?
I agree with Matt. It's a rugby incident. The minute you go to slow-mo, the minute you actually go to the point of contact of it happening by the book, Jaco's gone through it, and you know, it's by the book. I think Jaco's probably done the right thing, or done the thing that he has to do.
Yes, the thing he has to do.
You almost tell by his voice when he's telling it, though. I think he's like, he almost feels, for me, he felt like he's like sorry saying it, but
he said the words in the current climate, didn't he?
Yes.
So it's almost as if he was saying, well, I've kind of got to do this to tick all the boxes, but it's a very unique situation because of the way Keenan knocked the ball on, and then Stuart turned as if to say, well, I need to kind of get out the way a bit here.
The mad thing is, like, let's say he follows, like, you've got to make a split decision. Do I step out of the way completely here and hope the ref pulls it up, right? And he does call the knock on. Yeah. Sometimes he might not or whatever, and hope that it gets all pulled back. But this is real time, guys. Like, you're not doing that, and he's had to make the split decision, kind of like, I'm committed. Oh no, I'm not. I'm stepping out of the way. And then there's a collision. Once there's a collision, like it was, it's never going to end up good.
But also, Chappers, the fact that I don't think they showed one replay in real time.
No.
It was all super slow-mo on the contact, which is, it irritates the crowd, and quite rightly, if the crowd see that, they're going to say that's foul play. And you would in isolation, but you would expect from a very experienced official particularly to not call on real-time replay so that he could understand the context of that situation is unbelievably poor officiating.
We will be back for the second half. It has been a brilliantly compelling first 40 minutes, and Ireland are on course for the Grand Slam with that 10-6 lead at the break. The tea time game in the Premier League, Chelsea against Everton. Henry Moran.
25 minutes gone, Chelsea 0, Everton 0. Chelsea have been the better of the sides. Kovacic with a volley early on, just flashing past Jordan Pickford's post. It's been an entertaining enough game without necessarily any clear-cut chances that you'd expect to be scored. Everton have looked resolute. Chelsea certainly more confident coming off a back of 4 victories under Graham Potter. Things starting to click into gear, you sense. 26 minutes gone now, Chelsea 0, Everton 0.
Let's go to the Etihad. Manchester City Burnley in the first of the weekend's FA Cup quarter-finals. Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Kicked off at 5:45. Great footballing occasion, this one. Really vibrant atmosphere inside the stadium. A lot of that obviously to do with the return of City legend Vincent Kompany. Got a rousing reception when he came out of the tunnel and was wrapped up in a big warm hug by Pep Guardiola. Kompany's rocking the blazer t-shirt and baseball cap look this afternoon. 10 minutes into the game, Manchester City 0, Burnley 0. Plenty of Manchester City pressure, and Erling Haaland starting the game amongst others for City. No chances yet. Rodri's had one effort that was blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Manchester City 0, Burnley 0.
Thank you very much, Ali. In the Premier League today, Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 1, Leicester 1. Southampton came from 3-1 down to draw 3-3 with Tottenham. I'm told Antonio Conte's had a bit of a pop at his own players after the game. We'll try and get that to you. Wolves 2, Leeds 4 in a remarkable game at Molineux. In the Championship, Middlesbrough beat Preston 4-0 to keep the pressure up on Sheffield United in second place. Sheffield United in FA Cup action this weekend. The bottom of the table, Wigan got a point at Watford. Huddersfield beat Millwall. Rotherham Cardiff was abandoned due to the weather. In League One, second place Plymouth beat Forest Green Rovers 2-0. The visitors still searching for their first win under Duncan Ferguson and at bottom of the table. Colchester came back to get a 2-2 draw in League Two at leaders Leyton Orient. The match between third and second, Carlisle and Stevenage, ended goalless. Leyton Orient have a 5-point lead at the top of the table. A couple of minutes to 6 o'clock. Stuart Clarkson has the news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Donald Trump says he expects to be arrested on Tuesday. The former US president claims to have seen links from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Mr. Trump's been facing accusations of paying hush money to an alleged mistress. He's called on his supporters to protest if he's detained. The chief executive of the SNP, Peter Murrell, has resigned in a row about party membership. It's after the party was forced to confirm a large drop in the number of people eligible to vote in its current leadership election, which had been previously denied. Mr. Murrell, who's the husband of the outgoing First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, says he's ultimately responsible for it. There's been clashes in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, involving the police and supporters of the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. He was in the city for a legal hearing. Mr. Khan denies that he failed to properly declare state gifts that he received when he was in office. And Gary Lineker's made his first appearance back on the BBC since stepping back because of the row about a tweet he posted about the government's new asylum policy. He's presenting the TV coverage of tonight's FA Cup quarter-final. This is 5 Live Sport.
Get some reaction to the Premier League football today then. Great game at Molineux. Ended Wolves 2, Leeds 4. Wolves finished with 10 men, but they also had a substitute sent off as well. Leeds began the day in the bottom 3, but it's so tight towards the bottom that they're now up to 14th. Here's their manager, an emotional Javi Gracia.
We've just finished the game now, and my heart is, it's difficult to explain. I don't find the words I need to explain my feelings. But what I can say is I'm really happy. 3 weeks ago I arrived, and after my arrival we got 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 lose, and it's good for us to change the dynamic and to try to achieve our objective at the end of the season.
7 points from 4 games, Javi, since you took over. You must be delighted with that return.
Yeah, I'm happy for all the club, for all the people is working there, for the supporters, for the players, for many people, day in, day out, is working with that spirit, with that ambition, and I think it's good for us.
There's lots being made about refereeing decisions not going one way or the other. Is it your view, from what I've heard you say, that there were that many inconsistently bad decisions that they evened each other out today? Is that fair?
All the referees deserve all my respect. It's very difficult, and I try to support them. Of course, I'm going to complain during the game, but after the game, I know when I do it sometimes in the training sessions, I know how difficult it is to decide in 1 second. Then all my credit for them and all my respect for them.
Let's go to the game at St Mary's then. Southampton 3-1 down at one stage to get a crucial point at home to Tottenham thanks to a late James Ward-Prowse penalty. As I said, Antonio Conte not happy with his players.
I'm really upset because this is not the first time, and today I can tell you that this is unacceptable. You are winning 3-1 and 50 minutes to go. And I think you have to win. I think that instead to improve compared last season, about the spirit, about the team. Now in this moment, I think that we are not a team. Everyone is thinking to himself. And when we are in this way, and you can happen that you go to play in Championship, and you lost against Sheffield United that played with young players, and you drop the FA Cup. You can play with Milan or you can play with Southampton, and to finish that you are winning 3-1, and the last 15 you are able to give the possibility Southampton to come back. I don't see the sense of responsibility of the players. I see a lot of negative situation. I see a lot of selfish situation that I don't like. I have a great frustration about this because me and the staff, we stay every day to think the way to improve. Honestly, also it's time that, I have to take the responsibility, the staff, the club has to take the responsibility, but it's time also to take the responsibility, the players.
You might want to talk to Chris and Robbie at the end of the rugby if you're a Tottenham fan. 08085 909 693. So a point for Southampton, a win for Leeds. The only team to begin the day in the bottom 3 and lose were Bournemouth, 3-0 at Aston Villa. However, there was a return to first team action for David Brooks. He'd not played since September 2021 when he was diagnosed with cancer. Here's his manager, Gary O'Neill.
Yeah, delighted for him. He's obviously had a tough journey that he's been through, him and his family. So he's worked his socks off in this last part to get himself as fit as he is at this moment. We have to obviously manage his minutes a little bit, but to get him back out there, and the reception he received is obviously thoroughly deserved, and hopefully he gets a couple of weeks of work now. Hopefully play for the 21s in the week, get a few more minutes, and then we'll be able to use him slightly more.
David Brooks is such a good player at his best, as you know. Is there a danger in perhaps not being too protective to him and throwing him into the fray with every game so important?
No, there would always be. There's some real intelligent people at the football club that are experts in situations that we understand where Brooksy is, and we'll always keep Brooksy's best interests at heart always. So he'll only go on for as long and when he's ready.
You can see everything on Match of the Day tonight, 10:30. On BBC One. In the Six Nations earlier, Scotland beat Italy by 26 points to 14. So they are in third at the moment. France thrashed Wales by 41 points to 28. Let's go back to Stamford Bridge. Henry Moran.
12 minutes until the half-time whistle. Chelsea 0, Everton 0. João Felix comfortably the best player on the pitch. He's looked really lively up front for Chelsea. He's just come close. A low shot from the edge of the box, stopped by Jordan Pickford low down. Feels like a matter of time before Chelsea are going to create the sort of opportunity they've been looking for. Everton, they've been limited to just the occasional counter-attack. They're trying to hold firm. Chelsea working their patterns, looking for that opener. Chelsea 0, Everton 0.
I was going to say, is it going to be a matter of time at the Etihad? But then I looked up at my screen, Alistair Bruce-Paul and Burnley were on the attack.
Yeah, that's right. Nathan Teller got a hat-trick in the week away at Hull. He's just tested Stefan Ortega, who's in goal for Manchester City this evening. The shot might have been going just wide. He slipped as he hit it from 25 yards out. Ortega couldn't be sure, got a fingertip on it and palmed it behind for a corner. Another cross comes into the Manchester City penalty area, and this one Ortega is able to pick up. But the Burnley goalkeeper, Bailey Peacock-Farrell, at the other end, hasn't had a shot to save. It's Manchester City 0, Burnley 0, playing for a place in the FA Cup semi-finals.
You can watch that on the telly. Chelsea-Everton is on Sports Extra. Commentary tomorrow on 5 Live of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Sergio Perez will be on pole for that. Charles Leclerc second. And Fernando Alonso third. So Ireland are one half of rugby away from being Grand Slam champions. Let's return to Jamie and to Matt and to Chris.
And Ireland are out, Mark, but England are nowhere to be seen. Surreal situation here. Sexton has the ball under his armpit. The whole Ireland team are behind him, ready to chase the kickoff. And England are belatedly coming out of the tunnel. 14 men of England, remember. Freddie Stewart sent off, a big call. An unusual situation where Ireland knocked on. He turned his body, made contact with the head of Keenan, and in the eyes of the officials, direct head contact, no mitigation, high level of danger equals a red card. But as you were hearing from Matt Dawson, much more to that call and much will be debated about it. But Ireland are 40 minutes away. Ireland 10, England 6. And here is that Aviva Stadium roar we've been hearing sporadically all through the first half as Sexton kicks off. And now what do England do? They've got used to playing against Ireland with 14 men last year. They played 79 minutes with a man down when Charlie Ewels was sent off. But this is away from home against the Grand Slam chasing Irish side. And the Irish are a 4-point leaders. Van Portfleet clears down the line. And Jimmy O'Brien, who's on for Hugo Keenan, that's an important bit of information. As Sexton goes crossfield to Lowe. Lowe goes inside, scooped up by Ludlam. As England survive that one, Matt Dawson.
Yeah, clever play from Ireland, and we're going to see and hear a lot of that. Ireland know how to play in all types of conditions, and particularly know how to play against 14 men. On that occasion, counter-attack. England have got to be narrow for Ireland to attack Johnny Sexton, and one pass from James Lowe, and Ireland were away.
Van Portfleet clears, and Lowe is under it. Jamie Heaslip, I mean, we said before the game it was in Ireland's hands, but it couldn't be more in Ireland's hands. A man up and 4 points up on the scoreboard.
Ireland are tough enough to beat with 15 players on the side, let alone 14. They're number one in the world for a reason, because they've got a ruthless edge to them. Expect Johnny Sexton now just to pull the strings, condense that English defensive line, using the crossfield kicks, exploiting the space, and piling that pressure on already what looks like a tired English side.
Yeah, what has Steve Borthwick said to his players at half-time? When is he going to use his bench as well? Because a lot of England forwards, as Jamie Heaslip says that, are literally standing still on the halfway line. I get why they don't want to hair back and forth during the kicking battle, but England are going to have to go to the well, to say the least. Good tackling coming in on Sexton by England. 10-6 to Ireland, 2 minutes into the second half. Ireland on the brink of an historic Grand Slam in Dublin for the first time as well. 2009 was in Cardiff, 2018 at Twickenham, way back when in 1948 at Ravenhill, Belfast. But they are 37 minutes away now from sealing it on their home stadium. Through comes Watson, makes a good take, and he's off. Anthony Watson tries to get it away to Farrell. Tuilagi has to pick up. Tuilagi goes wide to Arundel, who's got a bit of space, but is caught by Hansen. Just want to see maybe Aaron just go with a tiny bit more conviction there, but he did all right. Willis sets it up. Van Poortvliet back to Farrell. They're playing aerial, but that's a kick for just Lewis Ludlam, who's not even got up.
Get themselves in trouble here. Ireland get turnover ball, which they do.
Gibson Park gets past Genge. Beautifully done. Gibson Park kicks for himself. He's got real gas the 9, and it dribbles out of play. But that was a frustrating tactic for England because they did okay. Farrell then crossfields for a flanco, doesn't even get up.
Yeah, and they've obviously practiced that as their counter-attacking move. Go through one phase, and is it going to be on wide? But under duress, under pressure with 14 men, that is not the call. Initially, good little break from Watson. And I know it wasn't a great pass, but linked to Tuolangi, and then you just feel, go on then, get round the fringes, get some quick ruck ball, put some pressure under that fringe defence. But Ireland were just waiting for that.
As well, Ludlam, probably the incorrect tackle choice. You're the only man on the edge. There's 3 Ireland players around you who have the ball. I'd almost try and, sweep that player up and try and turn him and pull him in and almost slow down that ball, as opposed to he tried to get man and ball all at once to get the offload to James Gibson Park, and that boy's got wheels.
Well, Ireland have got up, have they? Where's that ball that might actually be with England? Yeah, England have just about got it back, but England are right in the corner, 3 meters from their own line. This is savage for a scrum half, Matt Dawson. What can Van Poortvliet do? He can clear, does pretty well, but it's going to give lower counter-attacking chance. Finds Jimmy O'Brien. O'Brien goes over the 10-metre line. There's a lot of players tight in here as Caelan Doris goes out the back. Those passes haven't quite been going to hand for Ireland. If they had, then it could be more than 10-6 on the scoreboard. 10-metre line, English territory. Sexton plays some territory off England, and it loops out for a line out to Ireland. What are they? 35 metres from the English line.
Listen, England got nothing to lose with this. They've got a challenge, and they are. They are going to run out of juice. There's no question about that. But they've just got to throw everything at them, and that's why I was just questioning Jamie whether, when England make a line break like that, or they make some kind of incision, you think if you're going to kick it down into Ireland's, right near the try line, down into Coffin Corner, and make them play from deep. You don't need to risk it.
No, kick for grass, and put the pressure on Ireland. Opposite, Ireland there get that kick return, and I'm just watching Robbie Henshaw off the ball. He doesn't run towards the ball. He's actually running straight out to the 5-metre channels, put width in their attack. And they've obviously talked about it because they are going to stretch this English side, and watch for them on all turnover ball, all breaks of play. The outside backs getting width into Ireland's attack.
Gibson Park back to Sexton on halfway, sends a crossfield kick. This should be easy pickings for Anthony Watson, and it is. Up goes the arm for a free kick.
Yeah, not Johnny Sexton's best. Intention was probably right, maybe trying to hang it around the 22 to tempt Anthony Watson just to come out and get up in the air there so he couldn't mark it, but a solid catch, and
it's not out.
Doesn't look out to me.
Sexton with Hansen alongside him, and O'Brien spins away Johnny Sexton as the Toja gets on that ball, but he couldn't quite scoop it back for England. But definitely better on the floor here, England, today compared to France. They've got another turnover, but again it goes back on the Irish side, so they just can't quite affect the ball at the breakdown as they might like, England, even though they're way more competitive in that area. 45 minutes gone, Ireland 10, England 6, 5 live in BBC Sounds, live at the Aviva Stadium as Peter O'Mahony has a trundle. Farrell does well to rip it out of his hands, and England have it. Surely England need to tidy this one up, and they do. There might have been numbers to the right or left, but England just haven't quite got the heads-up energy, and they will just kick. Or will they? Watson steps past a couple of Irish forwards, and he might get away here, Anthony Watson. He almost does. Gets past 3 or 4. England have 3-on-3 on the right. They'll go back to Farrell, who will kick. I don't think they're not going to go for it, are they, man? They're not going to go for any of these overlaps.
It's not talking about going for it. It's just heads up and look where Ireland are weak, and Farrell's hanging on. It was right in the middle of the field. Watson's battling to stay on his feet and causes a bit of confusion with the Irish defence. It needed a shift, a real quick shift from left to right. Farrell, grab your players and get into that right where you had two Irish forwards. And that, that's not high risk. That's just heads up. And look where Ireland are a little bit more vulnerable.
It looks like England, unless Farrell's calling for the ball, they're a bit all over the place. Where Ireland will have, Robbie Henshaw will step up. One of the back three will step into the pocket and take it. And that seems to be the difference, because this would be a slow speed of thought unless Farrell is at first receiver.
Jamie George right below us here on a vantage point high up on the halfway line at the Aviva. George prepares to throw. England forwards moving forward and back. They lose it at the line out, and Dan Sheehan comes away, but it's offloaded to Sinclair, and England again had numbers to the right if they'd seen it, but that would have been tough for Sinclair to get it away. Ireland come through to spoil as Ireland start to win these 50-50s. Therefore the Irish at Gibson Park. Now Caelan Doris into a couple of soft English shoulders. Quick ball for Gibson Park to the left. Sexton inside to Gibson Park. 9-10-9. Up to the 10-metre line they go. England dive on that and do well to turn it over. Van Poorvliet, he sees a bit of space and he finds grass. Hansen goes back. Arundel pressurising Hansen, who kicks down the throat of Farrell. No Freddie Stewart, remember, in the backfield. Sent off as Farrell puts up a towering spiral bomb. This is a nasty one. Who's taking this? No one is the answer. Knocked on Jim O'Brien. That's a good kick choice from Farrell, and it leads to an English scrum.
Yeah, just a little lift for England. Let's not get too excited. It's a scrum. It's 35 metres out. There's a lot of work.
Now, player sitting down. Next line up, player sitting down. Scrum, player sitting down. Okay, so we're picking up a trend. Player sitting down, slowing it down. Okay, it's the third set piece in a row.
Unlucky. Yako. He's a front row forward. He's got an injury. Stop the clock. I mean, it's not the first time a team has tried to slow the game down.
Get the old magic sponge out there for him.
Yeah, good on you, Carl Sinclair. Sensible play. That officially is what you do to the referee there. Is ignore him.
Yeah, that's craftsmanship right there.
Yeah.
But that's something you've spoken about a lot the last few days here in Dublin. England they celebrate little battles, and maybe that's what they want to be, a kind of team with that energy, but sometimes you want them to be a bit cooler, don't you? Just say, right, next job, let's do it.
Well, you can celebrate all the battles you win, but you got to back it up and win the war, and they haven't been winning any wars the last while, you know what I mean? Like, that's really what you can sing and shout and pat each other on the back, but unless you're winning, you should, be quiet and deliver.
Drives me nuts. Honestly drives me nuts. Turnover, whooping and hollering like they won the game. It's like, just get on with your job.
Centre field scrum for England. The scrum is splintering. It's 8 on 8 in the pack, remember, so England shouldn't be unduly penalised there, given Stewart, the fullback, has been sent off. But when you look at England's options, they are. Okay. I was going to say they look a man short out wide, because they are, Jamie.
Okay. Go straight.
But like,
go straight.
You got to wonder, like, defensively, how are they going to challenge the Irish side now with that man down in the back? And what you need is your pack to set up here. You need your back row. You need a Toja. You need these guys to come into the game, be an extra set of hands, be another ball carrier on the ball. Dombrand, what we haven't really been talking about him in the game. Toja as well. These are big ball carrying players. They've got to find a way into this game.
England get a penalty from the scrum, and they've got to kick the goal, haven't they?
Yeah, of course. All right, calm down, everyone. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Flattens out.
It's good, it's great, and they deserve a congratulations, no problem. But get on with the next job, England. Don't waste any mental and physical energy whooping and hollering about winning a penalty. All right, let's get the 3 points and regroup.
What's also driving me mad here? Sinclair's run back like they've got the 3 points. Get on to your next job. Your next job is not to get back there for the kickoff. Your next job is to get up here and chase the kick. And so it's little things like this that shows that where their head is at. They're thinking too far in the game and not being in the moment.
You're listening, Chris. I notice it does sound like Jamie and I are harping on a little bit here, but you're listening to a couple of old pros that have been lucky enough to play in some of these real high pressure scenarios, and they're the little differences. They do make, added up all up, they do make a big difference in these big games.
Yeah, one for us to pick up on the Rugby Union Daily podcast, which will be dropping as soon as possible after the final whistle. We'll get some reaction. We'll then be podding, and you can listen to that tonight or on your dog walk in the morning. Rugby Union Daily will also be out Monday morning, wrapping up this epic Six Nations. Farrell then, 35 metres, bang in front to cut the gap to 1. 14 men England, lovely strike Farrell. Matt Dawson just punches the air, but not too much energy, Matt. You didn't want just next job for you.
There was no, I wasn't on my feet going wild, was I? It was just
nice.
A
penalty.
Nicely done. Next job, what's the next job? Kickoff, get the kickoff, get your exit, basics.
Half-time at Chelsea, Henry.
Chelsea 0, Everton 0. Chelsea the better of the two sides. João Felix in particular up front, outstanding. Looked to create opportunities every single time he had the ball. They've not found the breakthrough, nor have they really troubled Jordan Pickford, but they look the far more likely of these two sides. Everton, with the relegation zone just a place below them, need to find a way of either holding out or sneaking a goal. Chelsea the better of the two sides. Half-time, Chelsea 0, Everton 0.
Thanks very much, Henry, and John Murray and Pat Nevin over on Sports Extra have your commentary of Chelsea Everton, and we'll be there at the conclusion of this game, the conclusion of this Six Nations, which has under half an hour to run. Ireland 10, England 9, as Ireland prepare to throw in Jamie Heaslip on the 10-metre line in English territory.
Good drills by England there, good exit, that's what you want. You can get on to the next job. Now you got put pressure on Ireland. Don't let them get a good launch play off this. Maybe mark up at 2 and 4 and watch out for Peter Mandy.
So what we got? Dr. Cole. Sorry, Dr. Cole.
Little break in play here. I think there's a...
Get the staple going out for him. I think it's Willis and a bit of a blood injury.
A little bit of claret, okay. Willis takes a knee. England just need to concentrate on how they're going to disrupt this line out. Are they going to challenge, as Jamie mentioned there? Do they make life difficult? Force Ireland to throw to the back, and there have been a couple of overthrows from Ireland. I mean, it's by no stretch a gimme when you're asking the hooker to throw it to the back. A Toji.
Well, as we wait for the line, there's been a goal at Manchester City in the Cup quarter-final. Alistair Bruce Ball.
18th of March, Erling Haaland has his 40th goal of the season. Julian Alvarez with a quick ball forward. Haaland was through one-on-one. Bailey Peacock Farrell came flying off the line. Haaland has another chance. He scored his second of the day. A 41st goal of the season. And Manchester City steaming towards the FA Cup semi-finals. They lead Vincent Kompany's Burnley by 2-0. Haaland got 5 goals on Tuesday. 2 goals tonight. It's not even half-time. Manchester City 2, Burnley 0.
Sorry, 41 goals.
Yeah, blood.
That's 41 goals. There's still a lot of season left.
What are you talking about? My son Sammy scored 41 in Friday Night Fives already this season.
No,
still 3 games to go.
That's put me in my box. Yeah,
Hey?
yeah. No, good point.
Right. Here we go.
Change Jamie Heaslip in the back row for England. Ben Curry is on. Looks like for Jack Willis.
He's gone in to get the old staple going into the top of the head, I'd say, and get that blood injury sorted out. I'd say he'll be back on the field short enough.
Chance back on.
Yeah, it's a blood replacement for England. So England won't mind this, because a combination of that scrum when Sinclair took a knee and then Willis there, Ireland overthrowing, Ireland knocking on. A lot of time has been sapped out this game. We've had about 4 minutes of play and nothing's happened. Ireland 10, England 9. 14 men England, remember. They're not going to attack from their own half, you'd think. So Farrell will put boot to ball. But this one is going to be gobbled up by Jimmy O'Brien. Worth making the point that Keenan didn't return after his head injury. So Stewart's actions did force Keenan out of the game, but there's so much to discuss with that decision. It'll be one of our talking points of the Rugby Union Daily, which will come up later. And the main talking point, if Ireland can hang on, will be Ireland sweeping the board and scooping their 4th Grand Slam and their first ever in Dublin. But they've still got work to do. England are a different beast to last week. They were meek against the French. They've been miles improved as Gibson Park clears. And England's back 3. One of them is Watson, having to do a lot of catching. And Watson, good to see, he's immediately looking to counter-attack and not just put boots to ball straight away.
It's very, very difficult to put down, dancing feet, very explosive, and just makes a couple of yards. Not a great kick from Van Poortvliet, but it's all about the recovery, and they get it back for England.
Through Henry Slade. I do wonder if Borthwick's going to look to Alex Mitchell soon. As David Rippons carries, big collision in the centre of the field, just at the sponsors logo. He's kicked to nobody there, Van Poortvliet. That's the problem. You know, England are huffing and puffing and doing a lot of good, but then after a couple of phases they just put boot to ball and then no one chasing because Watson had dropped backwards. Now it's therefore Owen Farrell who will kick, but England need a chase, otherwise it's just giving Ireland free counter-attacking ball. Johnny Sexton, nice pass inside to Hansen, who slips. England can get Hansen here. Good tackling coming in by the English. Can they effect a turnover in the 22? Jaco Piper having a long hard look at it and deciding that Ireland are okay. Van der Fleer couldn't quite get it away to Henshaw, but they're in their own 22 here, Ireland. England will sniff an opportunity to force a penalty and maybe go into the lead. Still loads of rugby left on 5 Live and Sounds. 25 minutes to go. Ireland lead by a point, but Sexton has butchered his clearance, Jamie, and England have the line on the 22.
Yeah, he puts his hand up, apologises. You can see here on the camera he's saying some choice words to himself. He knows that's not an entry point you can give England.
This is pressure. Ireland,
we're playing.
And it's still focused on this game. They are feeling the pressure.
Playing.
Jamie Heaslett was shouting and screaming on that previous ruck for Jameson Gibson Park to use it. There were hints of overlaps, and do you know what? Any other game in this championship, Ireland would have used it. They would have had a go at it.
And the mood's changed a bit from that kind of real joy and expectation pre-game to a little bit more anxiety sweeping around the Aviva, especially with England at 14 men.
Wow, this is a big call. Jack Conan on for Peter O'Mahony. Peter O'Mahony, absolute servant of the game, servant of Ireland. Massive game today as well. Influential around the line out, piling pressure on. But a lot of work he's got through today. So fresh legs and Jack Conan. This will change the dynamic of the attack and defensive prowess of the Ireland line out.
Can England get their line out right? They can to Ludlam, and they immediately form a maul on the 22, a couple of metres in from touch. Can they get any kind of traction here, England? It doesn't look like it. Ireland have come away with it. Gibson Park, the scrum half. How did he end up with the ball? The bounce is going into the hands of Lowe, and then Lowe throws it forward. So it will be an England scrum. Frustrating for England not getting their maul right. I don't know how Gibson Park came away with that. And a fracas breaking out on the far side. They're almost in the fans.
I thought this might have happened a little bit earlier than 56 minutes.
And I'm surprised it's happening without Peter O'Mahony on the field. He's usually the one in the mix. But I tell you, the other person you don't want to start a fight with is Andrew Porter. Just look at the size of that human. But really smart play here. It looks like Jack Conan makes an impact straight away into the game, gets through the middle of the ruck.
Nothing there.
Fist on the ball, gets it out. James Gibson Park picks it up.
Option of scrum.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Attention, feisty. Again, all that, it just feels, you think Ireland, they're not, I'd say they are slightly ruffled.
Well, I'd say, Doss, Ireland haven't really been in this position a whole lot. Coming up with 25 minutes to go, and it's a 1-point game. Usually, they start pulling away from sides at this stage. These guys haven't been in this position. It's another test for them. If they want to be number one, they want to be Grand Slam champs, they've got to deliver.
Interesting to hear Farrell there, Matt Dawson, say you can't do that to the referees. Not quite managing to get on the same page with Jaco Piper. He was exasperated over the Stewart red as the England scrum's under pressure. No, it's not. It's a penalty to England, and a lot of Ireland fans all around us are on their feet, enraged with that call. But England have got the penalty at the scrum, hands in the air from Tuolangi, hugging Genge, and England can get out their own half.
Risky though, really risky. I mean, Ireland did look.
There we go.
Did look like they were slightly going in on the angle, on their hit, maybe got into a poor position. But with that scrummage being held for that long, you sense that at some stage the ball's got to get out. It's got to get out from Dombrandt's feet. I know this is a little bit old school and cynical, but there have been a few decisions going England's way in this second half.
Angle.
and you just feel referee might have seen a replay at half time, or there's just a couple of moments where you think, oh, Jacko, you're giving us that. Okay, fair enough.
Ball's out.
England throw to the front. Dombrandt, decent carry down the touchline. Hardly seen Dombrandt with ball in hand. Now Genge has a drive. 2 big carries for England. What do they have after that? That's where England are struggling, aren't they, as a side? 2 big carries, gain line crossed, turnover. They just can't get that continuity in their play. Penalty to Ireland, Jamie Heaslip.
Well, the problem with those big carries is when you go off and do it by yourself, which is great initiative from the players, is that you need your teammates with you. Dombrandt makes a great carry down the front of the line out, gets a bit of momentum into it, then Genge goes off and goes on by himself. He needs his teammates in there. Ryan Baird, for such a big man, he's one of these hybrid kind of back row second rows, no problem to him. He just waits, Genge falls to the ground, says thank you very much.
Yeah, lack of understanding of the feel for the game there from Ellis Genge. When you've got such a fantastic carry, it's got to be on somewhere else than one out runner. I mean, that's where Ireland are going to be waiting for you and licking their lips.
Okay. Well, change for Ireland. Tom O'Toole coming on for Tadhg Furlong. Ulsterman for Leinsterman. And listen to the applause for one of the greats of Irish rugby in Tadhg Furlong. You feel, Jamie Heasley, this crowd needs an Irish score, maybe just to settle things down. You're pointing Matt Dawson as I say that.
Henry Arundel coming off as well.
Arundel's off, yeah. Joe Marchant's come on, yeah.
This is always going to be a side that, you know, it was going to empty the bench. Both teams are probably going to empty the bench. Your bench is going to have a massive impact into the game. You got to fit in first, then make an impact. Tom O'Toole's got to fit in. Marchant's got to fit in here before they make an impact, because such is the toll this game is taking on everyone.
Good line out from Ireland. Sexton goes cross field towards the replacement Marchant, who is in all kinds of bother. Watson's in trouble. Hansen's all over him. Going to be an Irish scrum here, is it? Has Watson been taken over? It looks like he has. He has. 5-metre scrum Ireland. Clever play, Johnny Sexton. Isolating the backfield with no steward and isolating Joe Marchant, who's just come on the field.
Brilliant kick from Johnny Sexton there to find the grass. That was always the danger, and it was one of those awkward rotating balls that I think the England players knew it was just going to bounce absolutely anywhere. Yeah, brilliant strategy from Ireland.
What did you see, Jamie?
I just saw Curry was putting pressure on the kick. Obviously, he went for it, missed it, and just kind of collided with Johnny's foot. But he's back up. I don't think it's going to take a lot to get this man off the field. But this is a huge moment. This is a Grand Slam defining moment, I think, for Ireland right now. They haven't really got down inside English 22. You know, even despite England being down a man. You got Tom O'Toole who's come on here. He's got to make a big impact on a scrum that Ireland have been giving away penalties at. This is a big moment.
Decisive moment in the destiny of the Six Nations title, which, remember, France can still sneak. If Ireland don't get a losing bonus point or just get one, and then France's points difference can be moving on. At the moment, Ireland is superior, but if Ireland were to lose by a few, a bit of maths would have to go on. It's still very unlikely France come into it. But an Irish try would go a long way to settling the nerves around this stadium and the nerves down on the pitch, because both of you have commented how Ireland haven't quite looked their super cool, super composed selves.
This is on a nice edge.
Hour gone in Dublin. Ireland 10, England 9. Scrum Ireland, 7 metres in, 5 metres out. Is this their moment? Gibson Park feed. Scrum goes down. Out it comes to Aki. Advantage being played to Ireland. Surely they can walk it in with a man up. Gibson Park comes to the left. They drive on again through Conan. Will they come to the right? Yes, they do. Bundy Aki. Robbie Henshaw! As everyone around us jumps to their feet. They know, the Ireland players know, that that's the moment, surely. That's the moment they take a huge step towards the Grand Slam. Henshaw's try, and Ireland lead by 6.
Such smart play. They had penalty advantage from the scrum, actually, which is great. It was number 1 coming down for England, so Tom O'Toole. But really smart play. They go 2 phases around the corner, and they know they're coming back. Josh van der Fleer runs a hard line to sit down the fence, and it actually turns out pretty simple. Just nice little hands from Bundy. Jamie George had shot up out of the line, dog leg, and then you have Robbie Henshaw cruising in.
The picture you saw there, Pierre?
Too big, too strong, too slick, too powerful, too well organised.
And pull down. Okay.
Particularly when Ireland are in the opposition 22, particularly when they're 5 metres out. I mean, is there a nation in the world that can stop Ireland from that sort of position? Is there a nation in the world that with 15 men that could stop Ireland in that position? I doubt.
And that's straight off the training park. That's everyone aligned and exactly what they're doing.
Well, that is one of the differences between these sides, as Matt Dawson and Jamie Heaslip saying that ruthless accuracy and efficiency. We're going to go to City in a moment. The Etihad, Anderson Bruce Ball's there for the Burnley game in the FA Cup. But let's see if Sexton can turn 6 points into 8 and take a 1-score game to a 2-score game against a gassed 14 men of England. That feels decisive. Sexton. The Raw will tell you. Ireland 17, England 9. Andy Farrell motionless in the box, but he knows how big that is as we go to the Etihad. Ali.
Just heard Matt Dawson saying too big, too strong, too slick. Could have been talking about Erling Haaland. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium. Haaland has 2 more to the tally, 41 for the season. Manchester City 2, Vincent Kompany's Burnley 0. Pretty even first half hour between the two teams. And then Haaland, 2 goals in 3 minutes, absolutely decisive. The City fans gave Vincent Kompany a very warm welcome when he arrived, but Haaland is a ruthless finisher. Manchester City, as it stands, heading for the FA Cup semi-finals. They lead Burnley 2-0 at half-time.
No one quite like Erling Haaland, maybe Sammy Dawson, I suppose. There's a little kick through from Farrell going up to the 22. England, there are green bodies everywhere looking to steal. Do England have a response? They're a man down, remember. Freddie Stewart sent off on the stroke of half-time.
That's fine.
England playing this whole second half a man down. They've conceded a try, Henshaw. The conversion, Sexton. Into the last 15 minutes of this Six Nations. Ireland 15 minutes away from the greatness a Grand Slam brings. But England have the ball through Jamie George, short pass to Ben Curry. That's better because there are England players with him to support, but Ireland somehow have held that up, have they? Astonishing defence, Ireland. Scrum to the men in green.
Jaco Pepper there calling maul straight away, and then Ireland know what to do, which is get it to the ground and just don't move. Could have borderline called it a little bit too soon, too fast, but smart play by Ireland to listen out to the ref.
Your player pulled it down first.
Owen Farrell
8 in white.
Straight into the referee to say
number 8.
Any danger of just playing by the laws.
Yeah.
I mean, that was called within about a second of the tackle, and Ireland are the world's best at wrapping it up, but come on.
That was fast.
Look, I can have a conversation, but you're telling me what to do, you're attacking. So let's calm down, Kevin. Yeah, it's held up.
Owen Farrell can't get on Jaco Piper's page, really, can he? And he looks frustrated, the England captain, because he knows his players have emptied the tank here. He knows they've come with a smart plan and they've executed, but that penalty count, that red card, and the difference between the accuracy and efficiency, which we saw with that Henshaw try. I don't think England can kid themselves with 15 on 15 that they had this game in the bag at all.
No, listen, if England were going to win this game, they were going to steal it. They were going to
burgle it.
They were properly going to burgle it in Lansdowne. You've got to expect to get no decisions. If you're coming away from home in a big game, you're going to expect to get no decisions whatsoever. So there's no point, moaning to the referee, even though of course Owen will be incredibly frustrated, and I have done plenty of moaning at referees over the years, on and off mic. However, Owen can very proudly look at his England team, regardless of what happens in the next 15 minutes. England have turned up. It's just at the moment simply not good enough against this well-oiled green machine.
Scrum to Ireland on their own 22. Do you feel that try has just changed the mood a bit, Jamie Heaslip? Had to change your mood a bit.
I think now you're going to see the difference of the bench for Ireland, freshness to it. England still have to play with 14 players. and this could get a little bit ugly, guys.
Ireland are going for it from their own 22. They've made about 30 minutes. Good offload from O'Brien to Aki, and they're almost up to halfway. And they've got lightning possible. I don't think Johnny Sexton's coming off today, is he? You know, maybe in another day Andy Farrell would give Ross Byrne 10 or 15, but I wonder if Sexton wants to go the 80 on his final Six Nations appearance. Van der Fleer sees some space down this right touchline, ripped by England, but a penalty to Ireland. England number 5, David Ribbons, who looks enraged either with himself or with the ref. Penalty Ireland, and when Ireland get the ball around the halfway, they go to the line out, and they bring in all of their starter plays and all of their slickness and efficiency.
It's Python time, isn't it?
Yep.
Ever so slowly. Just started around the waist.
They'll be smart.
Seeing a little bit of weakness, are working their way around England's throat.
And they'll force England to play as well, which will play right into their hands, pile that pressure on. England got to get scores on the board, and they know that, and they'll just sit back until they see a mistake happen. And speaking of mistakes, 12 penalties by England to Ireland's 5. We talk about,
let's go, Johnny.
Before games, you talk about keeping your penalty count for 80 minutes down below in single figures. 12 points, 12 penalties is just not good enough against the number 1 side in the world.
Shades of the game last year at Twickenham, doesn't it? England really taking it to Ireland, but Ireland just keeping their nose in front, and then maybe the final 10, a score or 2 will give them breathing space. It's still in the balance, just about 8 points in it. Dan Cole is on for Sinclair, and to say Sinclair slopes off, but I think B's saying he's going a bit quicker than he is. One at the front of the line out by Ireland. England trying to stop them, but Sheehan peels round the corner. What a player this hooker is. Up to the 22 goes Dan Sheehan. Now here's Tom O'Toole, the Ulsterman. Almost up to the 22. Gibson Park comes to the right. Hanson to Sheehan. Lovely play. Dan Sheehan stayed big and stayed in field. Gibson Park, Ryan Baird. They're coming in waves now, the men in green. Hanson, Jack Conan, Dan Sheehan. What a try! Magnificent play from the Ireland forwards. That's why they're the world's best. And Dan Sheehan's got his second to cap an amazing individual performance from the Ireland hooker. And it really is Grand Slam party time for these fans now.
They had to put a show on. They had to take on that wave of pressure from England, and it'll take something special. But lovely hands, Dan Sheehan, down the short side, stays in play, which is really important, drives through. Ireland really smart to just challenge that short side, and a bit of magic. Great hands from Jack Conan to push the pass through the tackle, keeps it in 2 hands, and then lovely offload. Great finish by Dan Sheehan.
Yeah, make no bones about it. This is not England capitulating. This is Ireland getting better and better and better by the minute. That is a try that needed to be created. It didn't just open up for anyone. That was created pretty much from nothing. Brilliant hands, brilliant lines of running, and great strategy to attack those short sides where they knew England would be weak.
And it's super smart, going left and right, challenging your defensive system. Fold, don't fold. Let's see how tired you are. And they just got a little chink of light on that edge and exposed it.
22-9 to Ireland. The Grand Slam is theirs. With 10 to go, Sexton to take the lead out to 15 points. Up he steps. Oh, he's not missing today, is he? Written in the stars. Sexton nails the touchline conversion. Ireland lead by 24-9 as we go to Stamford Bridge. An update from Henry.
9 minutes into this second half. Chelsea have the lead. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. João Felix, best player on the pitch today, hitting the ball low and true and beyond Jordan Pickford, in off the post. His second Chelsea goal. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra.
Thank you very much, Henry. As Henry says, over on Sports Extra, and we'll be with John Murray and Pat Nevin at the conclusion of this game in Dublin, which has under 10 minutes to run now. Ireland 24, England 9. England much improved from last week, but with a man down, Freddie Stewart sent off. Are the floodgates going to open? Was there some afters there with Joe Marchant? The crowd was certainly animated. Jack Van Poortvliet off for Mitchell, by the way. Nick Asikwa is on as well in the pack.
We have a good look.
Well, no, I think on that occasion, I think Joe Marchant had chased the kick, and
we'll take our time.
James Lowe had run in front of him, and therefore he pushed James Lowe into Bundee Aki. It was his own player head on head, so there can't be any claim for any, ill discipline from an England perspective.
All we can pick up is
but there's frustration there, isn't there, just from the England players. It's a tough afternoon. It's a tough 10 minutes coming up right now.
You'd think Johnny would get easier with age, and would give the refs a bit of a good time, but such as the competitor, he's fighting tooth and nail for any sort of edge that he can get.
England go quickly from the line out into centre field. Tuolangi with a run up. He's won his 6 test matches against Ireland, but he's going to end up on the losing side here unless there is something truly miraculous.
They're on the edge of a rock.
It's impossible to see, really. With 15 points the gap, these fans now an outstanding voice. Nightfall begins to descend on Dublin on St Patrick's weekend. It's been a party for 48 hours. You can make that 72 hours and counting after this weekend. Listen to the noise.
Thank you.
What have we going to got here, Matt Dawson? What do you do if you're England? You're 24-9 down. You're a man down.
They've still got to go through the drills. They've got an attacking line out. They've showed incredible pride and determination, and they deserve a try. They deserve to be slightly closer than maybe the score will tell at the end of this game.
That is a good England maul. It's gone about 10 metres. It looks in control. They don't have the numbers in the back line to really kill Ireland off out wide, but they're keeping it tight, and they're doing a good job at this. If they can get James Ryan out of the way, they might even have a chance to push Ireland over here. They're still mauling England. They're still rolling. They're up to the line. Astonishing effort. Unbelievable effort from the England forwards. Written off last week. What a response that is. 20-metre rolling ball try. And they get on the board with a try to add to their 9 points. It's too little too late, but it's a stunning effort. Jamie George, the scorer.
Yeah, brilliant try. I think the emotion has maybe slightly been lost on from Ireland, because they know this game, or maybe they presume this game is won, because they would never in a million years would they have let that happen ordinarily. If it was a close fought game, England were never going to drive them over from 20 metres. But all of a sudden, with 7 minutes to go, and there's 8 points in it, it's just unnecessarily close for Ireland, and just a glimpse of hope. Ironically, not one England player celebrated scoring a try.
No, just wait though, and wait to hear the roar for Johnny Sexton coming off the field now as Ross Byrne and Conor Murray come on.
Everyone's on their feet around us to pay their adulation to one of the all-time greats in green. Quite possibly Ireland's greatest ever player. He's going to be helped off by a couple of medics. And listen to this reaction in his final Six Nations game. He'll hope there's more glory to come at the World Cup, but for now it's a fairy tale for Johnny Sexton. He's 6 minutes away from captaining his side to a Grand Slam, and listen to this reception.
He's got his family here as well, his wife, his kids are all here on the sideline. Massive moment for Johnny. Kind of a somewhat bittersweet, I'd say, for him coming off the field in his last Six Nations game. But you know what? He'll run back on now in a few minutes to lift that trophy, and much deserved.
He would have wanted to go 80, you'd imagine, wouldn't he? Because he's limping off there, having to be carried by a couple of physios. 6 minutes to go. England have the scrum. It's been a very good, enjoyable game of rugby, but a slightly surreal one as well with the red card. Then Ireland going into a 15-point lead. It was very much party time round here, but England getting that fantastic rolling maul try just forced a few Ireland fans to just put their celebrations on hold for now. 5.5 minutes until Grand Slam glory for Ireland. Ireland 24, England 16. And England at the scrum, Matt Dawson, 30 metres from their own line.
Well, I mean, it's impossible to know, isn't it? But
not just one.
It could have been an even better game. I mean, it's been a cracking game, don't get me wrong, but if Freddie Stewart was left on the pitch...
And he was probably one of England's best players up to that point as well.
Would have been a fascinating battle, and I think everybody sort of just assumed that Ireland would nudge their way through. But you know, England have challenged and will take a lot out of this going into the World Cup. You know, they certainly will. This is huge progress and base level.
Ludlam peels off the scrum and thunders into a couple of Irishmen. Mitchell comes to the left. Itoje is static. 4 minutes left for Ireland, who lead by 24 points to 16. As Mitchell prepares to kick and clear his lines, Jaco Piper stopped the game. So something else has happened here. I think there might be another TMO intervention, guys. Jaco Piper was talking to Marius Jonker.
Just step away, play. We're reviewing, is it a clear out?
Reviewing a clear out.
Potentially, I think it may have been Jack Willis on that clear out. Was it late? Was it unnecessary?
Can Marius put that on the screen for us, please?
Yeah, not quite so. We haven't seen a replay yet. It was relatively
so
late.
Look at the actions of 7
Oh
White.
my goodness.
Okay, so left some.
Jack Willis has picked up an opposition player and has looked to tilt. He's looked to tilt and has slightly bailed out. It looks like yellow. That feels like yellow to me.
Does lift them. But there's the dynamic of another player there. That he falls over the other player. Okay, comes down quite
lucky
softly.
the Irishman's not landed on his head.
Left.
What differentiates it, Chris, between yellow and red here?
Head and neck or elsewhere. The first, it's difficult because it's kind of simultaneous shoulder on the floor and head. Willis has taken him over the horizontal, so it's going to be a penalty and a yellow probably. It's whether it's head first.
It's a clear left.
Here we go, Jaco Piper.
You don't bring him down safely.
Yeah, yellow card.
Thank you. So yeah, this is our mark.
And England down to 13 with 4 minutes to go. Jamie Heaslip.
You know, Manu, it looks like Manu Tuolangi saved him there from a red almost, if we're honest. If Manu's not there, he's dealing with a lot worse. But obviously they're down to 13 men now for the last few minutes. And this has gone from like a 1-point game now into Ireland looking for, you know, that bonus points, which is a huge moment. And also, just a shout out to my good old buddy Cian Healy coming onto the field here. Well, it could be his last Six Nations home game as well.
Yeah, all the talk about Johnny Sexton, but that is a servant of Irish rugby and more. Cian Healy, 123rd cap for the prop. As Ireland go to the blind side, they're going to score. Yes, they are. Rob Herring this time, and Ireland celebrate like they know they've done it. The slam is theirs. History made in Dublin. Rob Herring, the hooker. 3 tries for the Ireland hookers today. 2 for Sheehan, and now Herring in on it too. Ireland 29, England 16.
Yeah, they made that look just so simple. England down to 13 men. But the execution, brilliantly, so tidy in that driving maul. And then the explosion down the short side. 3 on sort of 1.5, really. And Herring had Conor Murray waiting. He had to score that try or Conor Murray would have been furious. But it's a procession.
Mac Hansen, Conor Murray, Rob Herring, all, you know, playing in perfect synchronicity there. You know, Conor Murray's just waiting, Doss there in the boot. He's waiting, says, right, it's one on 3, kid, let's go. And yeah, the hooker's got to score if he doesn't give the pass. But it's great execution. But again, it comes back to the cohesion in this squad. They all know exactly what they're doing and when they need to do it.
And now here's Ross Byrne. Can he emulate Sexton, who nailed a conversion from this very spot a moment or two ago? As Ireland look to bring up 30, and it really is going to be one of the most convincing Grand Slam wins of all time. Byrne, or is he dragging this from the right to the left? Not quite. Stays out, 29-16. So the gap is 13 points. Ireland have won their game so far, guys, by 24, 13, 14, 15. And now they lead by 13. It's been pretty convincing. Red to England or no red to England, the best team in the world has shown what they're all about. Minute and a half to go. Ireland 29, England 16. And now the crowd really can enjoy these last few moments, Jamie.
I mean, there's a lot of expectation around this squad. You know, they've hit a lot of milestones along the way. Andy Farrell a couple of years ago said we want to win the World Cup, and I'm sure you laid out a roadmap in terms of how they do that. And the one thing left in their list of things to do was win a championship. Not only have they won a championship, they did it as a Grand Slam. That's a really important milestone for this side as they think now they'll turn the page. They might turn the page in a couple of days, and let's let them celebrate. But you know, this group, no matter what's been thrown at them last week against Scotland, where they had to manage a wave of injuries, you have flankers throwing the ball into lineouts, all sorts of mad things coming their way, and they've found a way through it, and these guys deserve to enjoy every last minute of it.
So much for Ireland to take away here. Obviously the silverware, but for their recall going into the World Cup now, they've faced France. They've seen what France can do. They've seen what an injured animal of England can do. And Ireland were flustered at that beginning of the second half. And then just the calmness, the decision making under pressure. Ireland have got what it takes to win not only a Grand Slam, but this team have what it takes to win a World Cup, there's no question.
Listen to this atmosphere. The flags are flying all around Dublin as we go into the final minute, with Ireland leading by 29-16. Nice arrow from George, a sequence. Mitchell, Farrell, Tuolangi in centre field. It's been good to see Tuolangi back in an England shirt and making the odd dent, but England again struggling at the breakdown to get quick ball. Mitchell finds Mako Vunipola, out the back to Farrell, wide to Anthony Watson. As the fields of Athenry again rings round the Aviva. Alex Mitchell into the final 30 seconds. Ireland have got this slam in the bag as Itoje drives on. Mitchell finds Slade, who throws a dummy. Big hit coming in by the industrious James Ryan. Farrell out to Watson. England trying gamely to the last, but outclassed, especially with that man down. Mako Vunipola sets it up. Ireland's defence holding firm, as it has done so often this championship. Slade, White and Ludlam, Hanson all over him, as the Ireland fans all around us get to their feet, get their phones out to capture a special moment. Time is up, the clock in the red. Mako Vunipola, just listen to this atmosphere. As Mitchell comes left to Farrell, who throws a dummy, Conan all over him, but it was high. So the party's on hold for now, as England will have a penalty. Tuolangi loses it back for the penalty, high tackle on Farrell. Some Ireland fans may have thought that was the moment, but not quite. The high tackle and England play on.
Yeah, I think maybe England do the right thing here and take a quick tap penalty and just put it out, and get to the bar and enjoy a beer later on with your Ireland, the Ireland players.
To the corner it goes. Chelsea won, Everton won, by the way, latest from Stamford Bridge. Will be there soon as England kick to the corner. And this is where, Jamie Heasy, you really want to keep England out if you're Ireland and end this without the opposition scoring.
I couldn't care less,
you're not
Chris.
bothered, okay.
I'm not bothered. Let them do what they want. Let's just get the party started.
Yeah.
We haven't had many of these Grand Slams. This is going to be our fourth. Let us have our moment.
Jamie George prepares to throw. 29-16. Time is up. The Grand Slam is Ireland's. The fourth in their history. The first here in Dublin. England driving again. This maul's been a weapon. Something for England to build from. As they go up to the line, George looking for another try. It's splintered and gone to ground. It's there for England. And a Toje trundles round the corner. England only a couple of metres out. Surely Irish minds are drifting now to that post-match celebration. As Mitchell finds Farrell. Farrell to Henry Slade, who steps. Tackled by Conor Murray, who's on. 6 or 7 metres out, England. 29-16 the lead. Time is up. The slam is Ireland's. This 14 men of England have battled really hard. But this is Ireland's day in Dublin. As still England press. Still they go through the phases. Still they don't want to give it up. Mitchell to Ludlam, who'll carry all day for his team. Mitchell now comes to the left, but no one's there. England out on their feet. Tuilagi tackled by Murray. Murray offloads, knocked on by Ireland, flung in field, and it looks like Henshaw was away, but there's a knock on, and that will be it. Jaco Piper blows the final whistle. And it's Grand Slam glory for Ireland on St Patrick's weekend. Listen to the noise round this place. The party's been going on a couple of days, and it'll go on for a couple of days more. One of the most famous days in Irish rugby history, and one of the great sides in Irish rugby history, and they've got a Grand Slam to prove it. Ireland 29, England 16. Grand Slam is Ireland's. Jamie Heaslip, it's all yours.
It's a great day to be Irish. Like I said at the very opening, we won at the Oscars, we won at Cheltenham, we even won yesterday the Green Machine. But today is for this group. They're a special group of players. You know, they are really coming together. Very different in their mindset in times gone past. They got very comfortable with favourites, with #1 in the world, and they delivered. And they deserve all these tunes playing. They deserve to have a party tonight.
They got a helping hand from England with the red card, and we'll debate that later on the podcast. A lot of people with a lot of things to say about that Stuart Red. England made them work hard, Matt Dawson, but this was a team that are operating a cut above many of the rest, if not all of them.
Yeah, very proud of the way that England fronted up today. Gave away far too many penalties. I can't knock the way that they played the game, but they're ill-disciplined. Just kept giving easy ball to Ireland. And I'm sorry, when you give an easy ball to the best team in the world at home, with all the frills and spills waiting to be taken, you're in for a tough ride. So a good performance from England, but you know, the focus quite rightly should be on this tremendous atmosphere, this tremendous Irish team with this well-deserving Grand Slam side.
Hugs all round on the pitch, hugs all round in the stands as well. And any moment now we're going to get some immediate reaction from Ireland's magnificent hooker Dan Sheehan, who scored 2 stunning tries. And it's shades of the Stade de France last year, isn't it, Matt? We were there for that atmosphere as France scooped the slam. France in 22, Ireland in 23. The best 2 teams in Europe, maybe the best 2 teams in the world. Certainly as far as the rankings go, they've been getting it done at the highest level. And we're going to hear it from Sheehan.
Dan, Grand Slam winner and 2 tries on the day. How does that feel?
Oh, this is a hugely special day to to win a Grand Slam in front of your home fans. All day they were with us, and it's just, I don't know what to say really. It's unbelievably special.
Presumably this is the day you always dreamed of as a kid. You're now living the dream. How does it feel?
Yeah, I suppose you want to be an Irish rugby player, but you always want to be a successful Irish rugby player, and a Grand Slam is really special for this whole country, and I'm really proud of all the boys and everyone.
What does it say about the resilience and the belief in this team that you've beaten everybody in the Six Nations and all you've done in the last year?
Yeah, I think we're going strength to strength, learning valuable lessons. I don't think we played our best game today, but you have to be able to win games no matter which way. So we're going from strength to strength, and it's an exciting time ahead.
Talk to you about that performance. It was one tough game.
Yeah, no, the English are always, no matter what form they're in, they'll always bring a huge test, especially in Dublin. So it was the same last year. They're a great team, and I'm sure they'll bounce back.
Obviously, Grand Slam winner, #1 in the world, and a World Cup around the corner. Not a bad place to be.
No, it's exactly where we want to be. Very exciting few months coming up. We'll definitely enjoy tonight, and then we'll think about that later on.
Enjoy it.
Thanks very much. Thanks, everyone.
Dan Sheehan, the Ireland hooker, the player of the match, and making that point, Jamie. It's winning it at home, winning it on the road. You did it in Cardiff in 2009. A lot of these players did it in 2018 at Twickenham, but to do it in front of this enraptured Irish rugby public,
it's pretty special. You know, I was here when there were some games with no fans during COVID, and to have everyone here, they have all the family. They have a little section down there with all the players, partners and kids. Real special moment.
We're going to hear, I think, from Johnny Sexton, the man of the moment, who's shaking his head almost in disbelief. Let's see if we can hear from Sexton.
Honestly, couldn't make it up.